welcome back. My name is Emily Kyle. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist turned certified holistic cannabis practitioner. Been a cannabis consumer for the past 10 years and now I educate others on safe and responsible cannabis use. So if you're here in the group, chances are you too are a cannabis consumer, and I'm so excited to have you here. I'm really glad to have this group. It seems like a super collaborative, fun, awesome way to kind of just meet people who are cannabis users and have the kind of same mindset and have a place without judgment or stigma, as we know that cannabis stigma is so real. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. Hey Marty, like I said earlier, I had some problems with Facebook, so I had to come back in and do this here again. So I'm glad that you made it and glad that you found me. We are going to be making a cannabis salve here today, and I'm excited because one thing that I really try and do with all of my recipes is include different options for infusions. So I have obviously cannabis flower here, but that's not always an option for people. So I also am going to talk about how you can make a cannabis salve with just regular CBD oil, which I have in my shop, or even a cannabis concentrate, which I have available in my shop as well. So this is a two-part recipe, but the beauty of it is it gives you a lot of options for customization. And so as you see with cannabis topicals, they are all so super unique to each person. Oh, Marty, I hope that you'll catch the replay. I hope you have a wonderful day at work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So lots of customization options here in the salve, and it's great because you might be using it for a different reason. You know, some people might be using a cannabis salve for pain relief. Some people might be using it for psoriasis or eczema. I guess that brings us to, what is cannabis salve good for? It's kind of like, what's red hot? I put that shit on everything. So this is my cannabis salve that I took right out of my bathroom because I do use it all the time. I've used it on sunburns, scrapes, bumps, bruises, bug bites, itches, kind of any skin blemish. This is my go-to. Dry cracked hands, my cuticles. I mean, I use this on everything, and I swear it works for everything. And if I had known more about cannabis topicals earlier in my life, I would have used them a lot more. So the beauty of cannabis topicals is that they work because we have CB2 receptors directly on our skin, which interact with the cannabinoids inside the salve, so whether it be CBD or THC. Now it's important to note that cannabis that is applied directly to the skin does not go directly into the bloodstream, which means that any kind of THC directly on the skin will not get you high. And so that's great for our first time users, but it's also important to know for our long-term users, topicals are not going to get you high. They're non-intoxicating, and that's kind of the beauty of them depending on what you're looking for. So again, it provides localized relief, so wherever you directly put the salve is where you're going to experience the relief. Topical onset, it's about 15 to 30 minutes to start seeing any type of pain relief, and the relief anywhere about 2 to 4 hours. Because you put it directly on the skin, you do not need to wait for any extended period of time before using again. So you can use this as often as needed throughout the day. I generally see the biggest successes with folks with like rheumatoid arthritis, really sore joints, people with sore knees, backs, hips, see the greatest results with a cannabis salve. So really good for our older folks and their hands. I think about my poor dear grandma, June, who passed away. She had rheumatoid arthritis, and if I could give her a cannabis salve, oh gosh, I wish I absolutely could. So anyways, let's get into making it. I'm going to start instructions first on how to make it with flour, and then I'll talk about how you can make it with CBD oil or CBD concentrate. The first step is to make an infused oil. So this is a process I want all of you to be able to get and have be your #1 recipe. You know how to make an infused oil, because if you make an infused oil, you can have your infused coconut oil, you can do infused ghee or butter. It makes it super easy and then all ready to go for you. So it's really easy. I like the crock pot method. It's what I have on my website. It's so simple. You're going to collect all the herbs that you want to be using for your salve. So first up, obviously cannabis. Now it's important to make sure that you decarboxylate your cannabis flowers before infusing. That's because my infusion method is for only 4 hours. If you skip the decarboxylation process, no worries. You're just going to want to cook it for 8 hours. And if you're like, Emily, what are you talking about? Raw cannabis in and of itself doesn't contain very high amounts of CBD or THC. It actually contains CBDA and THCA, so tetrahydrocannabinolic acid. That is not intoxicating in and of itself. It's a different molecule, and it's not until that THCA or the CBDA undergoes the process of decarboxylation, which can be done with heat or solvents, and then transforms into the active forms of CBD and THC. So if you want the active forms of CBD and THC, make sure you decarboxylate your cannabis flowers. All that means is that you're going to bake your cannabis in the oven, 240 degrees for 40 minutes. That completes the activation process and sets you up for a slower infusion time. So you're going to start, you've got your cannabis flowers. You can use as little as you need. You can use CBD hemp flower or THC dominant flower. That is your choice and ultimately what you want your end product to look like. Then I use lavender. I feel like I can't have anything herbal without lavender. Calendula, fresh mint leaves. You could also use dry. We use fresh for like that menthol part. And then my husband put in whole cloves as well in my recipe, but you can make it however you want and use whatever herbs you want to infuse inside. So you're going to combine all of these into your jar and you're going to choose your carrier oil. You can use coconut oil, or for this recipe, I like to keep it in the cannabis family and I used hemp seed oil. But really, totally your choice on which one you want to use there. You're going to put a lid on this. You're going to drop this into a water bath of 185 degrees Fahrenheit, whether that be in your crock pot or right on your stove, and you're going to cook that for 4 hours. Super simple. It won't make your house smell too bad, and at the end, you're going to end up with this floral infused cannabis oil. Now, you might not want to eat it, but as long as you use all edible herbs, you absolutely could eat it if you want. Otherwise, I just save mine for more topical uses. Once you have this made, it is so simple to make your salve. You only need 2 more ingredients. You're going to need organic beeswax pellets, which you can get right on Amazon. And then you're going to need raw cacao, which is CACAO, not cocoa. It smells so good too. I'm kind of obsessed, like cocoa butter. So anyways, what you're going to do, you're going to grab a double boiler. I don't have any heat in here, but it'll be so easy. You're going to mix in your beeswax, your cacao butter, melt them down very easily, gently. Then you're going to stir in your infused oil. And that's it. You stir them together and you pour it into your little jar and you are done. It will harden up over time. So obviously it'll be melted at first and then it will transform into your beautiful cannabis salve. So really it's pretty simple to make. And this smells so good. I love it. It's just nice because you can customize it to do whatever you want. So if you don't have cannabis flowers, we can still easily make this recipe with either CBD oil or CBD concentrate. I have both of these options available. The only difference between them, they both have 500 milligrams of CBD, but this is 500 milligrams of CBD in 30 milliliters, and this is 500 milligrams of CBD in 1 milliliter. So what you will do for the recipe is instead of using 8 teaspoons of cannabis-infused coconut oil or any oil, you're going to use 7.5 teaspoons of a carrier oil, coconut or hemp seed oil, and then you're going to add in the other half a teaspoon with regular CBD oil or your cannabis concentrate. And that is super simple. You can do that at home. Now, with that being said, you're not going to be infusing your cannabis with the floral, so you can then go ahead and add in your essential oils. I'm sure you have some at home, super simple. So there are tons of ways to make this cannabis salve, but it is super easy to do at home. Of course, if you're sitting here, you're like, Emily, this sounds super fun, but I ain't got time for that. I am super excited. I've got this brand new cannabis salve recipe. It literally just came in the mail today. This is a product I'm adding to my product line. Viva Oils made it for me. I am so excited to have it. It's not even on my shop yet, but if you guys want to get cannabis salve, instead of making it yourself, you'll be able to go on my website and buy it right in my shop. So that's it, cannabis salve. It's super easy. First step, you have to infuse your oil. Just make sure that you have a really good infusion process down. Once you get an infused oil process down, you can make literally anything. The world is your oyster. And then all you need is some beeswax and cacao butter, and you are on your way to making a homemade cannabis salve. I I hope you guys found this video interesting and helpful. If you have any more questions about cannabis salves or topicals, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be back here next Wednesday to talk about more things cannabis. And I just want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate having this space to connect with you all. I appreciate you trusting me to educate you. And I really just love what I do. I'm happy to be here. If you have any topics you want to see covered next, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. Happy Wednesday.